Can you hear us down there? Can you please unmute your system? We can't hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning. We hear you now.
Okay.
All right. The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today's date is May 21st, 2025, and the time is 9:03 a.m. My name is Danny Barra, serving as your chairman today. And my colleagues on my left, Mr. Prater on Zoom. The panel today at headquarters in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Headquarters staff, please introduce yourself for the record. Today, our remote location is Madison Parish Jail. With the staff at Madison, please introduce yourself for the record.
This East Feliciana, sir, not Madison. He transferred from Madison to East Feliciana. That's where he's currently housed in the TWB program. Yes, East Feliciana, yes, sir.
All right. There's something where this is playing and y'all got a bad echo. Like they wrote.
Is it echoing on my end or the other end?
We're echoing. We don't know which end exactly right now.
Okay.
Sounds better. It sounds better now.
Okay.
All right. Good to go? No. Good to go. All right. Can y'all hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, much better. Mr. Adams, would you please introduce yourself with your full name and your DOC number for the record?
Yes, sir. I'm Eric Adams, Eric John Adams Jr. Date of birth, August 9th of 90. And my DOC number is 772436.
All right. I'm going to give you a brief explanation of the process and then we'll begin. I'm going to read some information into the record, ask you to verify it, then we're going to give you a chance to speak and tell us what you did that caused you to be in jail and why you think we should release you. The warden there is going to give us a little bit about your behavior there and what they went ahead. And then we'll have comments, but we have no other comments, no district attorney and no. So then we will conduct a parole interview. Ms. Stapleton is assigned your case and she's going to ask you the questions first. So let's begin. Today we have for consideration Eric Adams, DOC number 772436, who's a second felony offender who was convicted of simple burglary and monetary instrument abuse on May 31st, 24 and September 15th, 22, and was sentenced to serve 5 years and 5 years, each concurrent in Acadia Parish. Your parole eligibility date is April 30th, 25. Your good time date is October 29th, 25. And your full term date is February 1st, 29. Does that information sound correct to you, Mr. Adams?
Yes, sir.
Right. So here's your turn. Tell us, what you did, a little bit about what you did, why you did it, and then why you think now is a good reason for us to parole you on that charge, on those charges.
Yes, sir. I was struggling in and out of jobs. I started using drugs and started stealing, and it ended me up in jail.
All right. That's what got you in jail. Why do you think it's a good time to let you go?
Because I went through classes for recovery. I've been down. I realized my mistakes and I'm ready to move forward and start a normal life, just go back to work and take care of my kids.
All right. Can you tell us what classes you took for recovery? I'm not seeing those in your record.
It's Freedom Rings. It's a faith-based class, recovery.
And how many hours or days or weeks was that?
8-week class, 8-week classes for 2 hours each class. It was 8 classes.
All right. Thank you. All right. Warden, can you tell us anything about his behavior there or anything that he has done good or bad?
Yes, sir, sure. He was transferred here on February the 3rd of this year. He's maintained one job since being housed here. He's a great worker. He's always up on time for work. Currently has no disciplinary write-up since being housed here, so he's been doing fairly well.
Okay. All right, looking at the paperwork, we have nobody here to testify in support. We have nobody here to testify in opposition, but we do have some opposition from the district attorney's office, who sent in a letter of opposition, the sheriff's office, who sent in opposition, and the chief of police, who is also opposed. The attorney general was not contacted for this case. So your case has been assigned to Ms. Stapleton, and she's going to go ahead and start the question.
Okay. All right, Mr. Adams, I listened to what you said, and like Mr. Bauer, I said you have strong law enforcement opposition, and you said that the reason that you're in there is theft and drugs, and that now you feel like you've taken the classes and you're fine. But when I look into your past history, you were arrested 17 times for 25 crimes, and 12 of those crimes were against a person.
Yes, ma'am.
That's pretty significant. And then another thing, the types of crimes that I had was child endangerment, domestic violence, the theft, the burglary, and drugs. Those were your types of crime. And when I actually look at your master prison record, I see that you had cruelty to juveniles, domestic abuse battery, and then in another year, cruelty to juveniles. And then years after that, domestic abuse with child endangerment.
Yes, ma'am.
And some more domestic abuse. So did you take any classes for domestic abuse?
I'm in an anger management class as we speak. I never took a domestic abuse class. I was just in a toxic relationship at the time.
Well, it sounds like you came out on top because you were the one arrested, beating up the person, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, what about the child endangerment?
They just gave me child endangerment because my son was around us arguing and fighting.
Okay. Ma'am, do y'all have a domestic violence class there, or is it only anger management?
Only anger management, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, you got a good time date of 10/29/25. So that's all my questions. Anybody else?
Mr. Prater, any questions?
No questions.
I have one question. Have you paid any restitution to the Landrys for the guns and the jewelry and stuff stolen in that case?
No, sir, I haven't had the chance to yet. I plan on paying them though.
Okay. That's my only question. Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Stapleton, you're the lead, so you take the first vote.
Okay, sir, based upon your strong law enforcement opposition and your extensive criminal history, which has a lot of violence in it, I vote for you to be denied. And you're going to get out on 10/29/25, so make the most of that time.
Prater?
I concur.
And I'll concur for the same reasons. So today, Mr. Adams, your parole has been denied, but you do have a good time date of 10/29/25, which is going to be an automatic release. So This will conclude our business today at East Feliciana Jail. We will adjourn at 9:13 a.m.
Have a good day.
Good morning. Can y'all hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, we hear you too. Great. The Committee on Parole is called back to order. Today's date is May 21st. The time is 9:19 a.m. My name is Danny Barra, serving as your chairman today. My colleagues on today's panel are Ms. Stapleton to my left and Mr. Prater on Zoom. Panel today at headquarters. Today, our remote location is Ouachita Parish Correctional Center. Would the staff there please introduce themselves?
Good morning, it's Deputy Marchand, Washita.
Deputy, thank you. Thank you. Ms. Godfrey, would you please introduce yourself with your full name and DOC number for the record?
Wanda Godfrey, 629194.
All right. I'm going to give you a brief explanation of the process and then we'll begin. I'm going to read some information into the record, ask you to verify it. I'm going to give you a chance to speak. We're going to ask the warden there or the deputy for any information about your behavior there. We'll take comments and then we'll conduct an interview. Your case has been assigned to me. So I'm going to go ahead and start it up. Today we have for parole consideration, Ms. Wanda Godfrey, DOC 629194, who's a second felony offender, who was convicted of aggravated second-degree battery on April 26, 2022, and sentenced to serve 7 years hard labor in Ouachita Parish. Your parole eligibility date is September 20th of 2025. Your good time date is January 6th of 2027, and your full term date is June 20th of 2027. Does that information sound correct to you, Ms. Godfrey?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's your turn to speak now. Tell us what you did to get yourself to 7 years and end up in jail, and what you've done while in jail to help yourself better yourself to get out, and why should we release you? Why do you think you should be released on parole?
I was in a verbal yet physical altercation with a female I know. We started to argue a whole weekend and it ended up in a fight with a knife. I was cut and she was cut. As we fought, I took the knife from her some kind of way, but she got cut and she went to the hospital. And I came to jail. I feel I should be let out. I mean, I've learned my lesson. I know now I cannot take the law into my own hands. And I'm really trying to get home to my mom, 78 years old, and I have a son.
Okay. What have you done while you're in jail? What kind of classes you've taken? What kind of rehabilitative things you've done?
I've taken 2 classes, parenting and risk management, and I'm now in work release. I've been there for 3 years.
Jail staff, do you have any information regarding her behavior there or her completions there that you could add?
Yes, sir. When she first came back in 2021, she has a few minor incidents, but then since 2022 till now, her record is perfectly clean. She served as a trustee back in our laundry warehouse for 6 months before moving to work release program in 22, and she's been there for over 3 years without a single incident. Sergeant Misty May of the work release program highly recommends her and thinks she's one of our better workers.
Thank you for your input there. All right, we have no other people wanting to testify on Zoom for or against, but we do have some opposition from law enforcement community. The district attorney's office in Ouachita is opposed to her release. The sheriff in Ouachita is opposed to her release. The chief of police in Ouachita is opposed to her release. The attorney general for the state of Louisiana is opposed to her release. So there is some opposition to this parole. I have a question for you. Why did you stab the lady? What was, you said y'all was in a fight, but why did it end up all the way to stabbing and cutting?
Well, she came out her pocket with a knife and she cut me right along my chest, and I ended up taking it from her, thinking I threw it, but I didn't. In the midst of everything, I cut her back.
And where were you cut?
right here in my chest.
One cut?
Yes, sir.
How many times did you cut her?
They said she had 7 lacerations, on her shoulder and 2 on her head, like her forehead.
I'm looking at, your criminal record, and you've been arrested 24 times for 31 offenses, and 9 were crimes against the person. You had 6 prior terms of supervision, probation or parole, misdemeanor and felony combined, and 4 of them were revoked. Doesn't look like you do too good on supervision. Can you tell me a little bit about what would be different if we put you back on supervision this time?
Yes, sir. I know now I can complete anything, any kind of obstacle I can get. And if it takes me to do anger management when I get out, I will, sir.
Okay. All right, that's all the questions I had. Mr. Stapleton, you have any questions? Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
Questions?
No questions? All right, I guess board's ready to vote, and I make the first vote. Ms. Godfrey, I cannot grant parole today based on strong law enforcement opposition, the violent nature of this crime, and the prior criminal record with 4 periods of supervision that have been revoked. You just don't have the record for it.
I concur with Mr. Barra.
Mr. Prater?
I concur.
All right, Ms. Godfrey, today your parole request has been denied. And this is gonna conclude our business at Ouachita Correctional Center at 9:26 a.m. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I think so because he served 3 years and it just
He left.
You just said what I said.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
obviously y'all can hear me and we can hear y'all. Was that Mr. Garcia who just walked out the room?
Good morning. My name is Elvin. I'm gonna be the interpreter.
Okay, great. All right, well, let's begin. The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today's date is May 21st, 2025, and the time is 10:16 a.m. My name is Danny Barra, serving as the chairman today, and my colleagues on today's panel are Ms. Stapleton to my left and Mr. Frater on Zoom. The panel today is at headquarters in Baton Rouge, and the remote location is CATAHOULA Correctional Center. The interpreter, you need a chance to tell him that?
Yes. Muy buenos días. Aquí está reunido el comité de Parole. El día de hoy es 21 de mayo del 2025 y la hora es 10:16. Mi nombre es Danny Barras, Irving, y yo soy el presidente. El día de hoy nos acompañan a mi izquierda Miss Stapleton y Mr. Frater por vía Zoom. Estamos reunidos en Baton Rouge y una ubicación remota en el centro correccional.
Okay.
All right, and now I'll ask him to introduce himself with his full name and DOC number for the record.
Ahora voy a pedirle que se presente con su nombre completo, su número DLC, que quede todo para el expediente.
Ok, mi nombre es Marco Hernández García. Mi DOC es 772894.
Okay.
All right.
My name is Marco Hernandez Garcia. My DLC number is 772894.
All right. I'm going to give him a brief explanation of the process. First of all, we're going to read some information and ask him to verify it. We're going to give him a chance to speak, to tell us about what he's doing in jail, how did he end up there, what caused him to be there, and why does he think now is a good time he should be released. And then after that, we'll conduct, Mr. Prater is going to conduct a parole interview with specific questions.
Bien, entonces voy a darle una explicación breve sobre el proceso. En principio voy a darle información y después voy a pedirle que verifique. Le vamos a dar la oportunidad para que hable, para que nos diga cómo le va en la cárcel, cómo fue que él terminó allí, cuáles fueron las causas y por qué cree de que es ahora un buen momento en que se le deba soltar. Y después el señor Prater va a realizar una entrevista del parol de la libertad condicional.
Okay.
All right. So let's begin.
Iniciemos.
Today we have for parole consideration Marco Hernandez Garcia, DOC number 772894, who is a first felony offender who was convicted of possession with intent to distribute cocaine, 25 pounds, and on September 28th, 22, was sentenced to serve 12 years hard labor in Iberville Parish.
Bien, entonces iniciemos el día de hoy. Tenemos para consideración de parol al señor Marco Hernández García con identificación 772894, que es el ofensor por un delito grave que fue condenado por posesión con intención de distribución de cocaína, 25 libras, el 28 de septiembre del 2022 y fue sentenciado a cumplir 12 años en Liberty Parish.
Sí.
Right? He has a parole eligible date of February 28th, 25, a good time date of 1/26/26, and a full term date of March 1st, 34.
Y tiene una fecha elegible para el parol del 28 de febrero del 2025. Una buena fecha sería el 1/26/26 y su término completo sería el 1 de marzo del año 2034.
2034.
2034.
Ah,
That would be the full term if you did the whole, no, actually, that's all right.
Sería la sentencia completa si usted la cumple.
sí, sí.
All right, yes.
Oh, it does sound right.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, that is correct, Dave.
Sí, es correcto.
Sí, es correcto.
All
Yes,
right,
that's right.
all right. So now we're at a point where he gets to explain to us what he did to get in trouble and why does he think now is a good time for us to release him?
Ahora le vamos a dar la oportunidad para que nos explique eh, cuándo y por qué usted se metió a problemas y por qué usted cree que es este el momento correcto para que lo liberemos.
Ok. Sí, yo puedo hablar.
¿Me ha explicado?
Sí. Ajá. Sí, el problema fue cuando yo me vine en el 2001 de México, por problemas en México. Me dedicaba yo al ganado, a la compra y venta de becerros, vendía y todo eso, pero allá los narcos o la maña, como le decimos nosotros, amenazó a mis amigos, mató a algunos compañeros ganaderos, nos empezaron a pedir dinero, me balacearon 5 veces, solo tengo un riñón, tengo mis tripas de hule, mi pulmón me lo cortaron. Ajá.
Yes, I would like to explain that I used to live in Mexico. I used to be engaged in dealing with cattle and raising and selling cattle. That people in dealing with narco traffic, uh, drug dealers, they start threatening my friends. They kill some of them, and they start in blackmailing the cattle raisers. I got shot. I only have one kidney. Continúe.
Sí, también tengo mis tripas de hule, el pulmón me lo cortaron, dilaté un año en silla de ruedas haciendo del baño por aquí, por un lado. Y entonces después mi familia decidió que me viniera y me vine. Conocí el coyote que me pasó y ese coyote me indució a traer esa droga a mí a cambio de pasar a mi mujer y a mis hijos. Me dijo que le trajera 5 viajes a Nueva Orleans, 5 vueltas y que él me iba a pasar a mis 3 hijos y mi mujer. Pero él siempre me dijo que lo que estaba en el carro era marihuana. Yo nunca supe que era cocaína. Ellos me decían era marihuana. Ok.
Yes, so I got shot. Uh, the shot hit my bowels and also my lungs. So this is when my family decided, to come over, and I met a coyote, and that coyote crossed me across the board, and that coyote also proposed to smuggle some drugs, 5 trips in exchange for bringing in my wife and my kids. So the deal was for 5 trips, and he always stated that the drug in the car was marijuana. I never knew. I never was aware that it was cocaine. Continúe.
Y solo había venido 2 veces. Con esa vez eran 2 veces ya que venía yo. Solo yo llegaba a ciertas gasolinerías donde me decían, iba un tipo y me quitaba el carro y me dejaba ahí. Y ya una hora pasaba y ya me daban el carro y yo me regresaba. Pero fue por eso y siempre yo creí que era marihuana y yo dije, no es, me decían a mí que la marihuana no era tanto delito y se me hizo fácil por mi familia. Y ahora tengo problemas en México. Allá tengo la muerte segura si yo vuelvo para allá.
And so this was my second trip, the second time that I arrived, I I was supposed to arrive to a gas station, and once there was a guy and he took the car and he just left me there. And 1 hour later, I will get the car back. But all the time, I did believe that it was marijuana, because this is what they said. And they said that marijuana was not a big crime. So it was easy for me because I was thinking of my family. And I'm having trouble in getting back to Mexico because if I go back, they will kill me. Continúe.
Sí, ahora la mujer que tenía la madre de mis hijos, de unos, porque tuve dos mujeres, una de ellas se juntó con ellos, ahora vive con ellos. Tengo 3 hijos con ella. Mi niño mayor tiene 15 años ya. Mi familia me manda, me dicen que ya los niños andan hasta con cuernos de chivo acá 47, R15. Y la mujer pertenece a un grupo delictivo, es un grupo grande de gente armada. Y me amenaza que si vuelvo, que me van a matar y que lo mejor es que no vuelva nunca. Y ya no sé ni qué hacer.
The woman, the mother of my children, I had 2 children with her. We broke up, and now she lives with them. And I had 3 children, and my older child is 15 years old, and she joined. She is now a member of a gang. She's living now with a guy that is called Chivo 47, and she belongs to a gang and people are people. They're threatening that if I go back ever to Mexico, they will kill me. So you better not come back. And so I don't know what to do.
Another,
Sí, de lo que le digo que me pasó en México, yo tengo pruebas, en México tengo todos los paquetes de radiografías, de todo lo que gasté en el doctor, gasté muchísimo dinero. 2 veces me dejaron por muerto y tengo todas las pruebas, yo tengo mis heridas, tengo un riñón y tengo todos los balazos, tengo como 12 balazos tengo en mi cuerpo, en las piernas, y me dejaron por muerto y es por eso que sí temo un poco ir a México yo, porque sé lo que es un peligro para mí, pero sí quisiera pues que me ayuden, me perdonen de alguna manera lo que hice. Yo acepto mi error, porque siempre lo hice, yo lo quise hacer.
And what happened in Mexico, I have full evidence of everything that happened in Mexico. I have, the imaging evidence. I have evidence of everything I spent in my medical treatments with the doctor. Uh, I they believe I was left dead 2 times. They believe that they have killed me, and that happened 2 times. And I have evidence of everything. I have my wounds. I have 1 kidney. I have the gunshots over my body, my legs, and 12. I got 12 bullets in my. They believe that I was dead, and that happened twice. So this is why I'm afraid of going back to Mexico, because I know that this will be a deadly danger for me. So I plead for your help. I plead for your pardon. I know what I did, and I do accept my mistake.
thank you. Just let him know that we're not the ICE people who determine whether he gets deported or not deported. We're the parole board that just determines whether he gets released from our custody for the crime or not.
Muy bien, gracias. Nosotros, quiero que sepa que nosotros no somos ICE, nosotros no somos quien determinamos a quién deportar o no, somos simplemente una junta de libertad condicional que determina si hay que liberarlo de la custodia por un crimen o no.
Okay.
All right. Okay, the next we'd ask the jail staff if they have any comments or information that would help us regarding Mr. Garcia.
Sir, my name is Lieutenant Townsend. I'm with Chattahoula Correctional. We have received Mr. Garcia on October the 12th of 22, and we have not had no problems with him since he's been here. He stays to himself, he's quiet, he stays out of trouble, reserved, laid back, he doesn't bother nobody, doesn't bounce from dorm to dorm like most inmates do. He has stayed out of trouble and just kept to himself, so we have no issues here.
Well, thank you for your input. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
May I translate? Buenas tardes, buenos días. Mi nombre es la Teniente Townsend. Estoy con el Correctional Categoric y tenemos al señor García desde el 12 de octubre del 2022 y no hemos tenido ningún tipo de problema con él desde que él ha estado acá. Él es una persona callada, no se mete en problemas, es tranquila, no molesta a nadie, no anda de celda en celda como la mayoría de los reclusos. Él se ha mantenido fuera de problemas. Él es una persona callada sin problemas para nada y
I'm on a call right
agradecemos.
now.
All right.
Okay.
All right, the next thing is we would take people in support and people in opposition to testify, but we have no one here to testify in support or in opposition today. But we do have opposition from law enforcement. The judge had no comment. The district attorney's office hasn't responded to the request yet. However, the sheriff is opposed, saying not enough time has been served. And the attorney general is opposed, saying he had the intent to distribute the drugs.
Ok. Bien, la siguiente sección es, nosotros recibimos la declaración de personas a favor y personas en oposición para testificar, pero no tenemos a nadie que testifique y apoye o en oposición, pero sí tenemos una oposición de los oficiales. El juez no tuvo ningún comentario en la oficina del fiscal, no han respondido. Sin embargo, el sheriff sí se opone diciendo de que no, el recluso no ha cumplido suficiente tiempo y el fiscal general también se opone diciendo de que él tuvo la oportunidad de distribuir narcóticos.
Okay. All right. His case has been assigned to Mr. Prater as the lead agent. So Mr. Prater is now going to take over and ask any questions.
Bien, el caso ha sido asignado al señor Prater y es el agente principal. Ahora va a hablar y hacer preguntas.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, did you apply for this parole?
Señor García, ¿usted aplicó para esta solicitud de libertad condicional para el parol?
No sé, creo que sí, o es que no estoy enterado, solo sé de esto.
I believe so. I'm not fully aware, but only about this.
Okay. If he applied for this parole and this parole is granted, then ICE has a detainer on him and we will be handing him directly over to ICE, who will then be transporting him back to Mexico, I would imagine, is their intent. Knowing that, does he still want to go through with this parole hearing?
Si usted aplicó para esta solicitud de libertad condicional y se le otorga, entonces ICE lo va a detener, lo vamos a entregar directamente a ICE, quienes lo van a transportar a México. Me imagino yo de que esa es la intención. Y mi pregunta es, ¿usted quiere continuar con esta audiencia de parol?
No, yo creo que yo me gustaría, si no puedo quedar aquí y me entregan con ICE, pues yo lo que quiero es salir. Y pues también a mí el juez desde un principio, mi abogado me dijo que me iban a dar clases para salir más o menos en estas fechas, pero solo he recibido una clase de Dios, sí. Mis compañeros recibieron más, pero a mí ya no me han dado más.
¿Podría por favor repetir nuevamente que no le comprendí muy bien?
Pues sí, sí, de que yo lo que, o sea, seguir con el caso así, no, yo quiero, si me dan la libertad y me entregan a migración, es bueno para ir a México ya, pero no sé cuándo va a ser eso. Y si no, pues que me den mis clases, como me dijo el juez desde un principio, de Dios sí. Solo me han dado una clase de 2 meses y medio y ya no me dieron más, no sé qué pasó ahí.
Ujú. Yes, uh, if I continue with this case and I got released and handing me over to migration and going back to Mexico, well, that's good, but I don't know when would that happen. But otherwise, I would like to keep on with my classes. As the judge said, the DOC, I only got one class for 2.5 months, but they stopped that. So
We need a yes or a no. Does he want to continue with his parole hearing or not? Understanding that we are not protective custody, that's not our purpose. We try to get people out of jail that don't need to be in jail if they've served enough time. But if they don't want to parole out, then they have to serve their time. So I need to know, does he want to get out and be turned over to ICE or not before we proceed with this rest of this hearing?
sí, lo que yo quiero saber es que si ustedes necesitamos un sí o un no. Porque si usted desea continuar, la pregunta es, ¿usted desea continuar con esta audiencia o no? Quiero que comprenda que nosotros no vamos a darle custodia protegida porque no es nuestro propósito, sino más bien es sacar a aquellas personas que ya no necesitan estar en prisión si ya sirvieron suficiente tiempo. Eh, y si usted dice que no quiere continuar, entonces usted seguiría en la cárcel. Entonces, y si usted sale de la cárcel, se lo vamos a entregar a ICE. Entonces, mi pregunta es, ¿usted desea que continuemos o no con esta audiencia?
Oh, sí, perdone, sí, al principio no entendí muy bien yo. No, sí, sí quiero continuar. Es que no entendí la palabra primero de continuar con la audiencia del momento, no había entendido yo. Pero sí, sí quiero continuar.
Yes, yes, I would like to continue with these proceedings. At the beginning, I did not understand. I was not clear about the question. But yes, I want to continue.
Okay. You understand that if you are paroled today, having served about uh, four years of your sentence, if you are paroled today, you will be turned over to ICE, and the condition of the parole will be that ICE returns you to Mexico.
Usted comprende que si nosotros le otorgamos la libertad condicional porque usted ha cumplido 4 años de su sentencia, si nosotros le otorgamos la libertad condicional, el parol, usted va a ser entregado a ICE. Y la condición del parol va a ser que ICE lo va a deportar a México.
Ok.
¿Usted comprende esto?
Sí, sí, entiendo yo.
Yes, yes, I understand.
You understand that if you ever come back to the United States, you will have to serve about 8 years on this sentence before you go serve any other sentence. Do you understand that?
Ahora, usted comprende que si usted vuelve a los Estados Unidos, va a tener que cumplir 8 años de la sentencia, esta sentencia, antes de servir alguna otra sentencia. ¿Usted comprende esto?
Sí, sí, sí entiendo, yo sé de eso.
Yes, yes, I understand. I'm aware of this.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, that's all. I'm prepared to vote myself unless you bring up some more questions that we need to pursue. You're Ms. Stapleton.
No, no. Mm-mm.
I have no questions.
Okay,
If we're-
it's okay. Do you need it?
The board is ready to vote and you're the first vote, so go ahead.
My vote is to grant. My vote is to grant this parole with the condition that ICE detainer and the ICE detainer is completely legal and prepared and ready as it appears to be, and providing that ICE will accept him and providing that ICE will deport him out of the United States with the understanding that he not return to the United States. And if he does, he will serve the remainder of his sentence. With the understanding also for my vote that this is a nonviolent crime and that he has served a substantial amount, and it's time to put this behind us and get him out of the United States.
Ok. Entonces, si no había ninguna otra pregunta, procedemos a la votación. Yo soy el primer voto y mi votación es a favor que se otorgue el parol, que se otorgue la libertad condicional, con la condición de que ICE va a ser quien lo va a detener de una manera completamente legal, preparada y lista. Y si ICE lo acepta, entonces ICE lo va a deportar fuera de Estados Unidos con la condición de que él no regrese a Estados Unidos, y si regresa nuevamente a Estados Unidos va a tener que cumplir con el resto de su sentencia. Ese es mi voto, ¿verdad? Porque se trata de un delito no violento y que ha cumplido con una parte sustancial de su sentencia, y es momento para superar esto y que él salga de Estados Unidos.
Ms. Stapleton?
I concur with Mr. Prater.
And I concur with Mr. Prater for the same reasons. So that would mean that Mr. Garcia's parole is granted today to the ICE detainer with the conditions that Mr. Prater put on it. Can you let him
Bien,
know?
entonces, yo concuerdo con el señor Prater, yo también concuerdo con él por las mismas razones, lo que significa que el parol, la libertad condicional del señor García, se otorga el día de hoy y se va a entregar a la detención de ICE con la condición que el señor Rever ha dicho.
All right, this concludes our business today at the CATAHOULA Correctional Center. Mr. Interpreter, thank you for helping us out. And CATAHOULA, thank you for helping us out. This will be adjourned at 10:45 a.m.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Have a good day.